Hello. So, do you ever feel like your email box is out of control, or maybe that you're just overwhelmed by all the emails in there and so you just keep ignoring them? Well, I got you covered. We're going to talk about how to organize, filter, prioritize, and just generally become more efficient and productive with your email. So, let's get the party started, shall we? Hello and welcome. So, email, right? It's something that everybody keeps thinking is going to go away, but it really, I don't see anything that's a really good replacement for it yet. So, email is going to be around for the foreseeable future. And so, it's in our best interest to find ways to manage it, deal with it, and be way more efficient with it. So, we're going to talk about all the little tricks that I've picked up over the years, the things that I rely on to get through my email as quickly as possible while not missing anything important, because that would not be good too, right? So, we're going to talk about my top tips and recommendations for managing your email. And whether you're an experienced email user or you kind of feel like you use it, but you don't really know like how to use it well, I'm sure you're going to find at least one thing in here that's going to be useful, hopefully more than that. So let's get started. We're going to start by talking about, let me see if this is working. Oh no. Okay, I think I've already broken my thing. Okay. I'm trying something new. Just hang on a second. Let me try to get this working. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to do that. Okay, and we're going to lose that. That'll work. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about organizing your inbox because hands down, that is the number one way to make your life easier, not only for handling new emails that are coming in, but going in and finding that one that you know you got that you need to reply to or had information that you really need now, but you can't find it quickly. So we're going to talk through some of my favorites, and there's a lot, and that's really good news. And here's the thing, with all of these tips I'm going to give you, keep in mind that you don't have to use them all, right? The idea here is not to add to your overwhelm. The idea here is to give you one or two things that you're like, I think I want to try that. And then focus on that. You can always come back to this video later if you want to try something else, but try to pick just one or two that you want to start with, and then you can always add to your repertoire later. All right, so number one, I'm a big fan of this for email, for your hard drive, for many, many things, and that is labels and folders. And the reason I reference both of those is because depending on which email service you're using and which tool you're using, they may call it one or the other, but at the end of the day, it's the same idea. And that is you apply a name to something, or you create like a physical folder and you drag stuff into there. But either way, it's a way to just really quickly identify what's work, what's personal, what's nonsense that you don't need, right? Whatever words and phrases work best for you, whatever structure works best for you is the way to go. So for example, for me, I can't just do work because I have many, many layers of work. I have got the day gig, I've got side gigs, I've got clients. So what I do is I set up labels for the day gig, for side clients, for other work that I'm doing. And then I have the personal, I have one for family, I have one for friends, right? So that they bubble up a little bit more. I also do folders and labels for things like software that I buy so that if I need to go back and get that software key again, I can find it. Or when I get tickets for an event I'm going to. I don't want to be the one fumbling with my phone trying to find the ticket as I'm trying to get into the venue. No, I have a folder that set up tickets and I go in and my ticket is there and I get it and I'm ready to go in. So it's those kinds of things. Anything that will make your life work better. And you want to tie that to the way that you think about things. And that's why, like, I can't give you a list of labels or folder names because it really is a personal type thing. And it really is about how you think about things. But when you do that, like, it's a game changer. It is such a lifesaver. So I highly recommend that one in particular. You just go in, and again, depending on your tool, it's going to be a little bit different, but just look for either go into help and look for labels or folders, or look for both, and it'll walk you through it. It's usually pretty simple, and it's usually pretty high up in the user interface because it is something that they encourage you to use because it does help organize you. The next one is stars and or flags. So again, depending on the tool you're using, it may use one label or the other, but at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. So for example, stars are what they use in Gmail. Sorry. That sneeze that won't come. It'll come in a more inopportune moment. Okay, so backing up. In Google, they're referred to as stars. In Outlook and Apple Mail, they are referred to as flags. And what I use those for and what they're handy for is to give you a visual highlight of something that you really want to pay attention to. So these are things to use sparingly. These are things to make it easier for you to find those, 5 things that you really do need to take care of or get back to. And in most cases, it's wherever you are, you just have to click on an image and it'll turn that flag on or off for you. In the case of Gmail, you can click once just to get the first star, but then you can actually go into settings and decide which ones you want. Like they've got like a dozen or so. And so you can just click through until you get the one you want. So for example, they've got stars, they've got an exclamation point, they've got a question mark. So again, depending on which symbol you pick, it's another way to bubble things up. And when you tie that with your folders or labels, it really helps you to just at a glance be able to tell which are the things that you really need to take care of right away. So I do recommend checking those kinds of things out. Another is something that most of the tools have, but I see most people don't use, and that is the ability to turn an email into a reminder and or an event. So if somebody sends you an email, about a party, right? Or a meeting that you are going to need to go to or whatever, in most of the tools now, you can go ahead and take that email and click on an option that will add it to your calendar. And the tool will actually go in and read and look for a date and time reference and add it to your calendar accordingly. So that's a crossover kind of way, because not only are you managing your email, you're also updating your calendar in one move. You're not having to leave your email tool in order to go ahead and get that connection made. You don't have to, I have to remember to add it to my calendar. It'll just do it for you right from there, and you can keep plowing through your emails. Super handy. All right, next, rules. Rules are a powerful way to automatically organize your emails. And basically what you're doing is you're creating a rule, right, that will automatically sort or manage your emails as you want. So for example, you can set up a rule that says, when I get an email from family member email address, put that into the family folder or label that as family. And that'll happen automatically. As the emails come in, it will do that. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, automation rules, that sounds too technical. These things are super straightforward. Basically, you're going to go in and it's sort of like a wizard kind of thing, right? So you're going to go in and you're going to look for the rules or automation option, and it's going to have different templates for you to use. And it may already have one that's like pre-configured that you just have to put like the right name or keyword into, because these are the kinds of things that people like to use. So just go ahead and do that. And so you can set one up to say, I don't want to hear from my ex anymore. Anything that comes in with this email address or this name, put it in trash. Or, when this comes in, label this for this client and put this into work and all that kind of stuff. Hang on again. We're going to try this again. Okay, I think that took care of the sneeze. So don't be intimidated by the terminology around it. They really are quite simple and straightforward to set up, and there's no harm, no foul, even if you set it up wrongly. Let's say by mistake you set it up so that, your work emails go into trash. Maybe it was a bad day, maybe it was a mistake, but your trash is still there, so you can always go back and retrieve those. So you just want to, set these things up, run them, test them, and make sure that they're okay. But again, this takes things out of your hands, right? Let the computer do what the computer does best. So once you've gone in and you've set up your folders or your labels, you can go into your rules and have it automatically shoot things into the right place, which means next time you come into your email, you don't have to go and search through all of your emails to see if any of those things came in, because they'll already be in those locations, and you can, hang on. Technology is great until it fights back. Okay, so let's keep going with this. So, where were we? Rules, right? So with your rules, you can go ahead and set things up so that they automatically go through and they put things into places for you. So the next time you come in, if you want to check your work emails or your family emails or whatever, they've already been sorted. As the emails have been coming in, those rules have been being applied. And so you just go right into that folder or that label. All the new ones are there at the top and you can go ahead and just run right through them. So that's kind of awesome. And again, you're making it very straightforward. And that's half of the battle. And that's where I get really like excited about technology because yeah, there are, pros and cons to everything. But when you put these kinds of tools in place, you're putting the work that can be handled by the computer onto the computer, which frees you up to take care of other things and get things done more quickly. So gotta love that. All right. So one more as far as organizing your email is to integrate. So almost all of the tools that we're also using alongside of our emails have some sort of connection to your email. So for example, you can integrate your emails with Slack and Trello and Google Drive and whatever other productivity tools you're using. Just as an example, I've got a lot of my Trello boards set up because I use Trello a lot with a lot of my clients. And also for my own life. It's my remote brain. But I've got it set up so that when a project is coming due or if something has been sitting there too long, yes, I can go into Trello and look for those kinds of things. But to be a little bit more proactive about it, what I do is I connect Trello to my email and I have it email me those Trello cards that need more critical attention. And you can also do that in reverse. You can also take emails and send them to Trello and have them, added to a card or create a new card for you so that you can organize them there. So, and like I said, this works with Slack and Google Drive, like all the productivity apps. There's some way to connect your email. And if you go into their help, especially wherever you're going to make those connections, they usually give you some ideas, which, again, take a look at the ideas and the recommendations they've got because something may spark for you and say, oh, wow, that really would be helpful. I didn't know I could do that. And there you go. You're off and running. Before we go farther, I should introduce myself for anybody who is new here. Hello, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. The short version of the story is technology is my day gig. It's also my hobby. So the people in my life, my friends, my family, my neighbors, my coworkers, and now their friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers come to me when they have a question, if they're looking for a recommendation, if they need help with something, if they're having a problem. And I've come to realize that not everybody has somebody that they can reach out to. So hello. That's why I'm here every week. I always bring a topic. You are always welcome to come and join into the chat where everybody's having a good time. Or you can go to my website. You can reach out there if you have a question. If you have an idea for a show that you'd like me to do, some topic you want me to cover, happy to do that. I also do consults. So if you want to reach out, you can go to yourtechcoach.com and sign up for a consult as well. So whatever I can do to help, that's what I'm here. I can't solve all your problems, but when it comes to technology, I can definitely help you there. All right. Let's see. Did I get this the right way this time? Yay. Okay. Let's take my name off. All right. So that wraps up organizing your inbox. I'm just going to take a quick look to see if anybody has any questions about that. By the way, if you have your own suggestions and recommendations, please go ahead, throw them in chat, or if you're watching this as a replay, go ahead and throw them in the comments, share. Maybe you'll have the perfect solution for somebody. And that's what we do here. We share and help each other. All right, let's see if this works. Yes. Sorry, I set up a new tool in my streaming and that always makes me happy. All right, so the next step is filtering and sorting your emails. So this is another way to kind of help you be more efficient. So the scenario here would be you know that somebody sent you information or you're reinstalling software that you purchased and you need that code again and you didn't put it someplace else because you knew it was in the email. Now you got to go find it. So that's where sorting and filtering comes in handy because that will help you get to the particular email that you need quickly. And just for clarity's sake, so filtering removes things from the pile. So let's say that, you've gone ahead and you've been doing your labels in your folders, and you've got your rules in place. And so things are going. So you can right away, you can filter your list to only see tickets that you purchased, right? Because that just gets you. Now, yes, you can get to it also from the folder that you set up, but you can also use a filter to do that. But let's say that you've been a little distracted and maybe you haven't applied the filter to everything. So you can go ahead and you can filter for only emails that have the word ticket or concert. Or if you remember the URL that you purchased it from, you can put that in and it will filter and just show you the emails that came from that, which will make it easier for you to scan through and find the one that has your actual ticket and not all the promotions that they sent you once you bought your ticket. That's different from sorting. Sorting changes the order of things that you are seeing on the screen or in the tool. So, for example, if by default, maybe your emails are sorted to come in so that the newest are on the top and the oldest are down the bottom. So a simple sort would be to change that order, right? So to go from new to old and instead go old to new. Or, you can also sort and, have just the ones that have attachments come to the top and have everything else below. That's really good if you know that a client sent you a file and you need to go find it again. So that way, because only the things with attachments will show up high, and then you can just kind of quickly go through and find what you're looking for. So sorting and filtering are additional tools inside of any email tool that you're using that, again, will help you find what you're looking for. And you can use them together. So you can filter your email list and then change the sort order to help you find what you're looking for. That makes sense, everybody? Yeah, we're good? Okay. Alrighty, we like when that happens. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I'm so happy that's working. All right, so next up are templates and default responses. So just to level set some terminology here, because templates can mean a couple of different things. There are templates that basically are the layout of your email. And those are great. And by all means, if you want to have a couple of different styles of email templates, that is the way to go. Each tool is going to have their own library that you can pick from. And then there's usually some sort of third-party ones. Just be a little careful with the third-party ones. Make sure they're safe to use. So that is definitely one way to go. And it beats the heck out of having to go in and format your own every time. You can just go ahead and pick that layout that you like, put your content in, send it out. Really, really good for businesses, organizations, that kind of thing. But sometimes it's just fun to do it with your personal emails too. No harm, no foul. But also in some of the tools, default responses are also called templates. So what am I talking about as far as default responses? You can write up those emails that those responses that you're constantly giving, right? So if you're running a business, you're running an organization, or even just in your life, right? People ask you certain questions and you're constantly having to rewrite the same answer over and over again. You can save yourself a ton of time by going ahead and just setting yourself up with those defaults so that all you have to do is go in and select them the next time that comes up. Or if you want to take it up another level, you can create your default responses, save them in the tool, and then build a rule that gets triggered. So for example, let's say that you're running a business, whether it's, large, small, it doesn't matter. And let's say somebody, people tend to ask, do you have any more of X in stock? Or do you do custom work, that kind of thing? Or do you do consults? So you can put in certain keywords and phrases and have the rule say, oh, okay, every time an email comes in with this particular rule or phrase, you can go ahead and send them this automatic answer. You can even stack your rules. So you could do that. Oh, this came in, it's got this word or phrase. Here's the default answer for that. And then have it add a label or put it into a folder for you to follow up later. So real quick, I'm just going to show you, because this is one of those things where sometimes the context helps. Give me one sec. So let's say, let me just find something. Here, okay. That's a good email. Just switch over. Okay, so here I've got this email. Let's just say that this was a client, and not, this is Dumb Industries telling me about the upcoming event. So let's say that this was a client who was asking if I do consults. So I would go over and I would say, okay, reply. I'm going to make this a little smaller so you can see it. I really got this set up for a different thing in a minute. Here we go. All right, so I come down here and I've already created my default reply. This is what I change my plan on the fly. It takes an extra second. Okay. I gotta move this up so you can see it. No. I'm also paying the price now for customizing it for something later. Okay, so I'm here and I'm ready to reply. Now I could type out the answer. Oh, hi, thanks. Yes, I do have I do consults, blah blah blah. But instead, I have created this default reply. So in Gmail, it's here. It's under templates, and you can name them, and you can have a bunch of these. I don't remember. I think it's somewhere around 50. So I can just say consults, and it goes in and it puts everything in here, right? Hi, and I can come and put the name in. Yes, I do offer, one-on-one consults. You can do that here. Looking forward to talking to you, blah, 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 and then hit send. So there's, like I said, there's two ways to do this. One is I could just do that the way I just showed you, where I click on it, I select it, and I do it that way, which gives me the opportunity to customize or, add a little extra in. But I could also create a rule that every time, do you do consults comes up in an email, it automatically sends that out. So that's just one example. I use this a lot in my personal life because I get a lot of people reaching out looking for, help with different projects and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes available, sometimes I'm not. So I have 3 basic ones for those kinds of things. One is, yes, let's talk more. And I send them the link to schedule a call so that we can get together and talk about what they need, see if this is a good fit. The other is, gee, I'm really sorry, I'm swamped. What's your timeline? Because maybe I can fit it in, or maybe what their need can hold off until I'm finished with the current project. And the third is, I'm really, really swamped. I'm really sorry, but here are some other people who may be able to help you. So I can send one of those 3 out, and I've got them all set up and ready to go. So it doesn't really take me any time. I go in and, 2 clicks and it's done. But that way the person gets a response, and either we're going to continue the conversation or I'm pointing them in the direction of finding help somewhere else. So just a simple example, but hopefully that gets some ideas rolling for you. And we'll go back to this. There we go. I'm really, really happy about that. So all you have to do is go into your tool of choice, and again, search for templates and or default responses. Sometimes it's called canned responses, but any of those will get you to the specific instructions for your application, and get you rolling in the right direction. All right, before we go forward, let me just point out to you that I have some stuff coming up. One of them, by the way, is that I'm probably changing. I've been doing this show on Thursdays. I think I'm going to change it to Fridays. 80% sure that's going to happen, but I also have some other things coming up. So if you'd like to stay on top of things, if you'd like to be in the know about which topics are coming up, I always let the mailing list know first. So you go to yourtechcoach.com/mailing list, and add yourself, and that way you'll get all the updates and you'll hear about the things that are coming down the road. So just want to let you know that was an option. All right, let's keep going. Let's take that away. All right, so we're getting down to my favorites, because there are certain things that I use every day, and one of those, keyboard shortcuts. Again, there are a lot. Let me just get this out there in the beginning, right? So there are a ton of keyboard shortcuts for any application you're using. Particularly for email, I think it's good to check out what's available, and then go ahead and, again, pick 1 or 2 that you want to try. I'm just going to bring up the list here. Yep. Pick 1 or 2 to try, get in the rhythm of using. You can't learn 50 keyboard shortcuts all at once, but you can learn 1, get that to be automatic, then add another, then add another. And there are a ton of different things that you can do. Let me just bring this up here. So for example, in Gmail, and each tool, each email service has their own list, but you can change the focus, you can, add recipients, like just super fast. You can open things up, you can work your way through font sizes, you can take action on things. You can jump around. Like there's all kinds of things that you can do. Basic navigation. So it's definitely worth looking at. This is something else that I'm starting to see more and more places, and this can really be a game changer. And that is, not only can you use the keyboard shortcuts that they give you, but you can also customize and create your own keyboard shortcuts in some of the tools. So if they don't have something in the list, or if the way that they have it default set doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and create your own combination to do whatever it is that you want to work on. And again, so that was Gmail. Outlook has also got, and these links are in the description, by the way, so you don't have to write them down as I'm flipping through them. Just wanted to show you. So here in Outlook, they show you for the current version of Windows, for Windows Classic, for Mac, for iOS, and just for the basic web, which means in your browser. So you can go through and you can see again, you can forward, you can delete a message, all the keyboard shortcuts, insert a hyperlink real quick, Control K, all kinds of good stuff. And again, you're going to want to pick a few things. Like this is pretty, if you're a Windows user, this is a good one to learn if you like to use bold, because this works in a lot of different applications. And that's another benefit to this, is the fact that a lot of these types of things for formatting tend to be universal to the operating system you're working in. So again, you can just go through and kind of read the list and pick one. You're like, oh, I do this all the time. This would make life faster, or maybe this will make life faster. Let's try it. So you can go ahead and do that. And the same thing, like I said, the link is in the description. But you can also do this in the mail service for the Macs. So again, of course, it's going to be command instead of control, all that kind of good stuff that you would expect in the different world. But there you go. But that is another really great way to just make yourself more efficient as you're doing things. And it does become like the Control B thing. Like I use that everywhere because I use that in emails. I use it in, documents I create. It's just, if I can, I always try it in chats because some of them do it, some of them don't. But, being able to do Control B is so much faster than having to highlight it. Go find the formatting tool, apply bold. No. Control B. Boom. I'm done. I'm moving along. Like I do it now without even thinking about it. So it's just another way to make yourself more efficient. And again, a lot of them carry across. Some of them are going to be specific to email, but a lot of them will carry across to other things. So it's an extra benefit that once you've learned it, then you can reuse it in other places. Okay. So those are the basic tips. Those are the ones I rely on every day. Those are the ones I find help me be more efficient. And a lot of my friends have picked up a few along the way that are handy too. Now, for you people who really stick through to the end, I'm trying to, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been adding little extra things at the end. So I do have a tip, an extra bonus tip for you folks who have stuck it out to the end of this video. First of all, thank you, because the watch time really does help. But one more tip for you. I think I actually had this. Let me see. Yes, there we go. We have our superstar tip right there. Let me just get that out of the way. And that is using BCC. So this is kind of a carryover from old school, like typing and that kind of thing. But so there was CC, right? Which is, adding people, but you can see them. This is blind carbon copy, right? So instead of just carbon copy where you would send something to somebody and then, copy a bunch of people on it. Blind carbon copy, I think, is way more powerful. And I think in a lot of ways is more respectful because you're not sharing people's email addresses and names when maybe they don't want that to happen. And this is really good too if you are somebody who does like newsletters or mass mailings. Again, if you do a business, if you're running an organization or you work for an organization, this is a really good way to send stuff out automated especially if you don't have like a more expensive, email kind of tool. So what you do is you go in once and you set up your email, put in all of the email addresses, but instead of just putting it into two, like most people do, you go ahead and you click on the heading. So sometimes it shows up right away in the email heading. Sometimes you need to click on that heading where you put in the address to get the CC and BCC options. Get all the email addresses, copy, paste them in as BCC. Then go ahead and do your email. You're also going to save that, right? Basically, you probably save it anyway, in your send folder. But if you don't, create a little template out of it. Just save it as an extra file because you're going to go, you send it, it goes out to everybody. Everybody will get it. And if they need to respond to you, this is the other benefit of BCC. If they do reply or reply all, it should just go back to you. It shouldn't bother everybody because we've got all other people who do reply all when they really just needed to reply to the sender. So this will also very often, not always, unfortunately, but most of the time will circumvent that particular issue. but you'll still get the emails back from them. They'll get from you. So it doesn't impact the communication style. It just offers a little bit of privacy. And I think that's a little bit more polish when you're sending stuff out to large groups. The other benefit to that is once you've got it set up like that, if you need to send another mass email out, so like, let's say, you've got a group of people that get together every weekend and go biking. And so every Thursday you send out an email saying, okay, we're going to meet at this location at this time for the ride. The ride is going to be this long. It's going to be this level, bring this stuff. Instead of having to add all the people in every single time, you can just go ahead, grab that one you used before, maybe add somebody to it if somebody new has joined, or if you drop somebody, if you need to edit the BCC, you can do that. But you've already got them all in there, so you can just go ahead, send out that email, and it just makes that whole process faster because you just copy, put the new information in, boom, it goes out to the whole group. So there's your bonus tip. For those of you who stuck it out, I do appreciate you very much. And BCC is just, it's just an awesome piece of functionality that's actually been around for as long as email's been around. But I think people kind of forget about it because in most of the email tools, it's not as visible as it once was. But really, all you need to do is click on that heading and it'll be there. Actually, let me see. Do I have... Just now I'm curious, like how obvious is it in Gmail? Let me look. Just look real quick. Yeah, so it's not very obvious. So let's go back to this example that I had up. One sec. And we go here. So for example, right? By default, this is going to the person because I hit a reply, but you can, I think if I click up here on the two, oh, here it is. I'm sorry. So it's right here. So over on the side in Gmail, you've got the choice between carbon copy, which would show everybody's email, or blind carbon copy, where you can put in things and have as many of those as you want. So again, you're going to have to look for it. I know some of them you do have to click on just the heading where you do the to and the from. I personally, I like where Google did it because it's there, but it's not right in your face. All right. So I hope that you found one or two of these that caught your attention. Give it a try. Do let me know. When you're in the comments, go ahead and let me know which one you picked. If it's working for you, how you're using it. And also I would love to hear your favorite tips and tricks for email. So go ahead and put those in when you get a chance. I do come back and read and respond to all the comments as quickly as I can. Just remember, one of me, many of you. All right. I think I have covered everything. That is everything. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do another one of these on this because I do appreciate all of you folks. You guys have been giving me such awesome feedback and I do appreciate it. Like I mentioned, I usually do the show. It's been Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think I'm going to move it to Friday because life has just shifted in a way that Thursdays have gotten really complicated. I'll let you know for sure in the emails, so do keep an eye on it. Also, if you don't want to get on the email list, if you do the subscribe thing, whichever platform you're watching this on should notify you when I go live. And I do also post on socials ahead of time. So there will be multiple ways for you to find out if you'd like to come and hang out and chat live, which I do appreciate too. All right, everybody. Hope you're having a great summer so far, and we will talk again next week, either Thursday or Friday. Bye.